So guys, if you want to be the strongest possible runner and get the best possible times, you need to focus your attention on a foundation, building a foundation where you go into a position where you focus your attention on run performance afterwards. This is the best way of doing things. And I'm going to explain to you what my client Jim and Eleanor did to make sure that they had the best possible results. And also as well, I want you to understand that you have to play the long game, because I see this quite a lot with a lot of runners. They prioritize too many goals. They want to drop body fat, probably one of the most important ones a lot of the time that people bring up. And they probably want to maybe like avoid injuries, which potentially focus your attention on maybe building muscle mass in certain areas. And you probably want to improve running performance. But if you have a number of goals that you're wanting to work on, then it's going to be really hard for you to tick off everything. It starts to become overwhelming and it's not sustainable. And then you go from one extreme to the other and you don't get anywhere. And you might have been doing this for years and it's starting to get quite frustrating right now. So what I want you to think about is if you did take a little bit of a back seat from running and you prioritize losing a little bit of weight, or let's focus on body fat. Let's talk about body fat because I think that's the best way of explaining this. And you prioritized maybe strength training a little bit more and built muscle mass. When you went through that phase, let's say 3 months minimum of doing this, and then you went into like a training block, how is your running going to improve? Like, do you think that you would improve a lot more if you focused your attention on that method? I'm sure it would do. Now, the problem you face right now is you are in a position where you push quite a lot with your running. This happened to Jim and Eleanor. The problem they faced, which you guys may do this too, is you're quite competitive with your running. You want to run faster times most of the time. And, you know, you're going to like park run or you're going to running club and you're trying to be competitive all the time. The problem you face if you push too much of running all the time, you don't give yourself time to work on the other things. And also it impacts your recovery in some form of way. Because if you're in a position where you do that, there's going to be injuries that be promoted. And that's the issue that Jim faced. Let's talk about Jim first is, you know, he came to me, which he was literally out from running, totally like could not run at all, like felt quite lost with where he was going with things. And actually before Jim started with me as well, like he actually thought I was maybe going to scam him. He wasn't too sure if actually I was going to be able to support him or not. So he was very, very hesitant about actually hopping onto my coaching in the first place. But he took that chance and opportunity and gave it a shot. And then within like 3 months, he's lost a considerable amount of body fat and he started to build up his running again, get back out running. Now he's running 10Ks. So what I want you to consider is like with Jim, what we focused our attention on is just gradually building strength training in, which was very, very comfortable. It was very sport specific at that time period. That's what we wanted to work on with Jim as well, because it was really helpful for him because he's been with, you know, fitness professionals in the past and they haven't supported him. They were giving him like deadlift exercises when he very first started with me. And I was like, that's no wonder you're not recovering, like, because you're in a position where you're injured and they're giving you workouts, which are quite intense. So what I did with Jim is I worked on movements which are very, very comfortable to get himself at the position that he was actually in. And like, this is a really important thing for you to focus your attention on is when you are injured, sometimes this happens a lot. You're like, oh, I'm injured, can't do anything right now, can't run, so might as well just leave it and just wait, just get a few physio exercises and I'll just wait until like the time's right when I'm back out running and then I'll start to focus on all my goals. You need to change that mindset around. And that's exactly what Jim did. And I explained to him, this is a perfect opportunity for you to drop body fat. The fact that you can't move, he couldn't do like that many steps as well. Like, but his nutrition would not be affected because his mileage and his runs and all of these things, which impacts, you know, your nutrition in some form of way and can impact your recovery, wasn't in. So it was really good for us to just focus on nutrition and fat loss. Like, that is a really good way of approaching the position that you're in. It's like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't run, but what can I do? Perfect opportunity for you to drop body fat. because you're probably not going to have too many cravings because your training intensity is quite low and you're not running too much, you're not getting as many steps in. So it's actually quite a good, helpful tip to do that. So we kept them on like a certain amount of calories. We didn't need to fuel them too much. He started to drop a considerable amount of weight. And then when that weight was dropped, and when we started to build strength training, every single month the exercises got a little bit more demanding. It wasn't as sport specific anymore because he was coming out the injury. Then he started to work on more full body movements. And then he was like, building up his mileage. He was actually doing couch to 5K. He started off at that point, as I said, just gradually build things in. And all of a sudden, because he built that foundation of dropping the body fat and he used his time wisely, it was a perfect chance for him to do that. And the same thing with Eleanor. Like, Eleanor was in a position where she did notice that there was certain things which happened to her where she wasn't able to do the runs that she wanted to do. I think with Eleanor, though, she was able to run, but it was like, it wasn't too much that she could do. Like, she couldn't push too far with things. So it's like, it's a great opportunity for you to work on strength training because you can't necessarily run a great deal right now because of Achilles. And like, it was like a great opportunity for us to work on weight loss right now. Well, let's talk about fat loss. Let's say fat loss instead. It's like, it's a great opportunity for us to work on fat loss. So let's focus our attention on this. The problem of Eleanor as well is like, it was more a like relationship with food as well. Like, when she's been in positions before, when she's been injured, and this has probably happened to you guys, is like, you use running as like a position which makes you feel better, reduces a lot of stress. You like doing it, puts you in a better mindset. When it's taken away or it's reduced down slightly, it can affect your mental health. So we needed to incorporate low impact cardio sessions, and we need to start to incorporate strength training, which was still full body a little bit. Like, we could work the upper body, start to strengthen your upper body because you use your upper body still quite a lot. Building a foundation with your upper body to get that stronger is actually helpful for running as well. It's not just leg work. And then start to incorporate sport specific exercises, which we're going to get in a position which was, avoiding the injury and flare up and start to promote weak areas and strengthen their muscle groups up. Doing that was perfect for her as well. She had a lot of focus. There was time periods where it was quite challenging and demanding because she wasn't able to run. And she had to do like low impact cardio sessions, which she didn't necessarily want to do. But she got through that phase of what she was in. And for her to have that support, it put her in a position when she came out of that injury in the strongest possible position when she started to build the mileage. Now she's in a position, she's got Chicago Marathon coming up, and she's like, I'm feeling great right now and I'm moving forward to where I am. Because she was thinking the glass half full. Same with Jim, glass half full mentality. I can't do this right now, so what can I do? And when you start to focus your attention on that, it can be really, really helpful. Now, you may not necessarily be in a position where you're injured, but you might be in a position where you're kind of losing your love for running and you're not necessarily enjoying the runs too much. There's the odd flare up that happens. It's not like a massive injury, but you're just not necessarily in a great position with the runs. So it's really important for you to say, let's just take a little bit of a backseat. It's not as if you're taking all your running away. Like, let's face it, it's like reducing your mileage, reducing your intensity. I'm not there to coach you on your running, but I know the principles of overload. I understand how the body works and how recovery is affected in some form of way because I work in strength training a lot. And I understand that we need to consider incorporating more strength training exercises to build muscle mass, because if you're working on more strength training sessions than what you used to, because your running mileage is low, how's that going to benefit you? You're more likely to build muscle mass because you're not necessarily used to doing that many strength training sessions. But your recovery is going to be affected in some form of way. This is the thing that I want you to think about. Is like, when you do strength training and you work on progressive overload and you're challenging yourself with strength training, you're doing things like squats and deadlifts. They're very demanding. They're very taxing on the body. I do like a lot of deadlifts and squats, and I feel it for a few days. So for you to incorporate them movements in, which are great to build muscle mass, you don't want to put them in when you're wanting to perform really well, because let's face it, you're going to struggle like to walk maybe the next day because you've maybe done squats, which is, kind of a good sign that it's actually worked. It's impacted your recovery. But the last thing you want to be doing then 2 days later is like trying to perform really well within a long run. Let's face it, it's like you need to make sure that you lower your expectations and understand the phases that you're in as well. It can be really helpful for you to build that foundation, because then if you're building muscle mass, you've dropped a little bit of body fat, you're looking in better shape. That's it. A lot of clients that I work with, it's not just about them, improving their running times. They're quite self-conscious of how they look and feel, and they want to look better in the mirror. They want to, feel more comfortable in clothes. There's a number of things that they want to work on that as well. And I know myself personally, I like to do that as well. That's something that I want to work on. So when I'm in a focus of like body composition, and I maybe want to drop a little bit of body fat and build muscle mass, I know when I'm going out for my runs that I ain't going to perform relatively well. I'm just going to drop back on the pace. I mean, I don't even use a watch sometimes as well. Like I just like to go out and just run. It's like, it's not necessarily something that I really want to push. In reality, guys, the foundation helps. You have to focus your attention on doing things which you don't necessarily enjoy doing. Sometimes, like, strength training is okay. You might enjoy it a little bit, something that you don't mind doing, but it's not on the same level as running. It's not like really enjoy strength training and run at the same amount. It's like strength training's probably down here and like running's probably a little bit higher, let's face it. But you doing them strength training sessions, even though it requires a little bit more effort, it's not the most enjoyable thing to do, but it's going to get you the results that you want. The problem you face with this is the structure. You don't understand when to do the strength training and like how to, position it in certain phases. You're unsure of maybe like how to build in your nutrition to help you with your running performance and drop body fat as well, and all these things. It can be a bit of a minefield. I totally understand that, and I get the position that you may be feeling right now. However, I'm here to support you and just give you a little bit of value on what you should be doing to give you some understanding of breaking the goal down and just working on one thing at once, prioritizing that, so you're just not feeling overwhelmed, because you've probably got a number of things happening within your life. You've probably got family commitments, work commitments, like Jim and Eleanor, they've got children, they have full-time jobs, they've got all the things going on, and also you then trying to prioritize a number of goals on top of that, and then working on your nutrition and your strength training and your runs and everything else. This is probably the reason why it's not sustainable as well, because you just focus your attention on too many things and you already have a busy lifestyle at the same time. So if you're in a position right now where you feel a bit lost with this, but this is just giving you a little bit more of an understanding, it's hit home a little bit more on this as well, then all you need to do is you can reach out to me, you can book a call through this thread. It's not a problem at all. And I'll have a chat with you regards to where you are right now. And I'll see if we can support you moving forwards. So I hope this helps, guys. I'll speak to you soon.